watch that game. I hope you did. That was the game that I played up in Seattle with my buddy Ty. Flew all the way up there on some work and decided to give my little test a go, which was the wanted to play a game using only box sets, and wanted to play just a kind of a straight up fight just to see how these box sets matched up. So I played Lady Justice's crew. My buddy played the Karis crew, and very entertaining game. Probably one of the most fun beginner games I've ever had playing Malifaux. And it was just to see whether or not it was a good good investment, or something that I could show to new potential players. Was, look, you know, if you're willing to fork out the $30-some for Lady J's box, and somebody bought another box, say Karis, for $40, then for about $75 for the both of you, you'd be able to get in a really entertaining full game of Malifaux. Just keeping it on the cheap and not really having to go out and select miniatures. So what I thought I would talk about really quickly was, you know, the whole prospect of getting your first game in. Now, depending on what game system you choose, getting your first game in could be a little bit difficult, especially if you choose a game system that may not be very popular in your area. Thankfully, though, there are a lot of resources to finding the type of game, and hopefully one of the easiest resources is you went into the hobby with a buddy, or you knew people already in the hobby, and that's the case probably 9 out of 10 times. And so you can start getting your opening games with your friends, and you can play that indefinitely. However, I know a lot of times that's going to end up getting boring. So you're going to want to get out there and see what else is going on. Find out where the game that you're playing is being played, and really just try to network and try to find more avenues for you to get your gaming in. So we'll talk about really quickly some of the resources you can use. Obviously, your FLGS, your friendly local gaming store, will have resources available. You could talk to the people that work there. You could talk to the people that play there, and just ask them what games they're playing. Ask them if anyone plays your game, for example, Malifaux, and they can hopefully point you in the right direction. In addition to that, you can go online for a lot of these games and try to find a local play group, or in the case of Malifaux, you might want to look up your local henchman. Very good resource, by the way. Finding a Malifaux henchman who is close to your area, who can not only demo games for you, they will help you with a lot of other things. Painting, putting your crew lists together, just pointing you at more resources to expand your gaming knowledge and your available player base. This is such an important part of gaming, and it's one that I think a lot of gamers, maybe the gaming community, could continue to improve upon, is to really reach out to one another. And just find out who's playing what and when, and just try to get some more games going. So those are some of the resources that you could hit up. You could hit up your FLGS. You could look up your local henchmen. Contact them. Please contact them. By the way, if you're playing Malifaux, please contact your local henchmen. We're talking about some really good, really friendly, knowledgeable people that want nothing more than to see people playing and enjoying this game. We're not paid by Weird. We do get a few perks for some volunteering that we do, but you know, we're not on their payroll, so it's not like, you know, our livelihood depends on you playing the game. We're really just interested in getting the word out and getting people to enjoy these things. Now, as you start to play your first games, maybe you're playing with your friends, maybe you just played a few games with some people that you just met, you're going to have a few temptations. And those temptations are going to be pretty strong, and they're going to play to a lot of weaknesses that gamers have. And I've been dancing around this topic for a few videos now, and that is the concept of what I call gamer ADHD. And we all kind of suffer from this a little bit, especially if you're not playing a GW game. One of the worst parts about the GW games are how expensive they are, but maybe its saving grace is that it's so expensive you can't really suffer from too much gamer ADHD. You can't really afford, once you're a few hundred in or more, you can't really afford to swap to another game rather quickly. Whereas in some of these other systems, like Malifaux, hopefully the ADHD will be to look at other crews, but a lot of times you end up looking at other games, especially if they're more popular, and especially if your friends are playing them. And I'm not telling you not to do that. I'm just saying be careful about switching games too much, because that can really dilute your enjoyment of the hobby, as well as evaporate the gaming money that you have. So that's one thing to be aware of. Try to, like, for example, these are just 2 box sets. I didn't add anything to them. Now, for Malifaux, if you're going to start playing competitively, you start going to tournaments or whatever, you're probably going to want a box set and then maybe 1 or 2 blisters. So I'm talking at the most $60-65 to get you up to like a tournament-sized crew. But as the last video I hope demonstrated, you could get a great game, a reasonably sized game in for just buying the 2 box sets and having a go there. So one other thing, with regards to your first few games, play the stuff that you have, and you might want to run it back a few times. You might want to play this, like for example, you might want to run this particular matchup again to see what you could be doing differently with the models that you own. There's going to be a temptation, another gamer fallacy, which is the temptation to escalate. Now, we all want to escalate. We all like seeing the bigger, badder, newer stuff that comes out, and we all want to play that. But if you're just learning the game, spend a little bit of time with the models that you've got. Learn some of the basics of the mechanics of the game, so that when you do go about purchasing or making your next purchases, you know what you want. You're a little bit more informed. Now you can talk to your friends. Will probably give you some advice on what you might want to pick up. Some experienced gamers will give you some advice. You could get advice online, etc., etc. But one thing that most of us are not terribly aware of is going to be your preferences. If you get advice online, you might be getting advice from somebody that may not understand your local meta. They may not know what works for you personally. So take all of that advice with a grain of salt. So again, before you start escalating, let's just, for example, we played this game and it came down to the last card. It was a really exciting game, and Karis lost. And after the game, Karis was like, "Oh, I need soulstone, so first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go out and buy a soulstone miner." And you can do that, and that would probably be might be okay. But what do you know about the soulstone miner, and did you really learn enough about that crew to make that decision so early? A lot of times we're in a rush to try to escalate and continue to add models to a crew before the jury's really in, before we've really this guy even gonna fit? I don't know. Before we've even made decisions about or really come to an understanding of how we play, what we want, and what we expect. We might start buying stuff, and that becomes a dangerous habit to both your wallet and to your gaming enjoyment. So just tread lightly. as you go about your first few games, pace yourself, learn how to use the stuff that you've already got, and be open to advice, but take all of that advice with a grain of salt. So really that's this next part is really just some notes for you, just a few thoughts that you probably want to take with you going into your first few games. I hope that you're able to find good gaming groups, good players, and people that are willing to help. Again, got to plug the henchmen again, in particular with Malifaux. Go out, find your henchmen, talk to them. If they're 20 miles away, send them an email or send them a private message. Just let them know what's going on. A lot of times, henchmen may even make the trip out there to see you, which is something I've done. You know, I'm totally okay with if as long as you're within an hour's driving of me. A lot of times I'll just go out and visit a new player, see what they've got going, and seeing if I can help them enjoy the game. So that's it, really. There's quite a few little notes here. I'm sorry if this comes off a little preachy. I just really want people to enjoy their first gaming experiences, and that's what this whole series is about. So, once again, put yourself out there, play your games, play what you've got, and study up before you start spending some more money, because that can put you in a pit, a miniature pit, very quickly. So anyway, thanks for listening to my rambling, and we'll catch you on the next one.